Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Martina. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my experience going to medical school, failing, having to drop out, and having to start all over again. So if that's something you're interested in hearing, then please keep on watching. If you enjoyed this video, if this video motivates you or helps you in any way, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So let us begin. It all started in 2013, my final year of high school. We had an agent come to school, talk about a particular university, and talk to the students that were about graduating. So I saw the school, and at that moment I was like, oh, it's very expensive. I won't even think about it. But when I finished high school, I was very desperate to go to school. I wanted to study abroad. I didn't want to stay at home. A lot of my classmates were going to school, and I didn't just want to be that student that is at home and has not gotten admission yet. The thing with schooling in a private secondary school is that, news spreads. And when I was in school, you always hear the teachers talk about, see this student has not yet gone to university yet. And it somehow felt like a thing of shame to not get into university immediately. So I was really desperate. And then I considered going to this school, which I went to. For the purpose of this video, I'm not going to mention the name of the school or the country where it's located in. I've mentioned it so many times in my videos, so if you're a faithful subscriber, you will know. But in this video, I'm not mentioning it because I don't know the current condition of the school or if things have changed. So I decided to go to the school. It was very expensive, but at that moment, I did not even care anymore. I was like, I just want to go to school. I don't want to stay at home. And I didn't really do so much research about the school. I mean, since someone came to my high school, spoke about it, I just felt like, okay, it's a good school. I didn't know that before you actually go to a school, you actually have to research about the school. I didn't know there was something called accreditation or recognized universities or things like that. I knew nothing about all that. I just thought if a university offers medicine, then you can study medicine there, right? Without any problem. Yes. And then I went to school. When you're young, at that age, I was 16. And, you have your life all planned out. I planned to, go to medical school, finish when I was 22, do my NYSC, spend 1 year, just working. And then at 25, I get married. That was my own life plan. If you know, you know. Everybody has their own life plan when they were much younger, before reality hits in. So I didn't want to delay my life plan. So I went to school. When I got to the school, it was good, beautiful country, beautiful school. This was a private university. We were paying a lot of school, a whole lot of money as school fees then. And so, classes started. I started as a new student. And then after a couple of weeks, we had our first exam. But before then, we did some classes, we do some lab classes, experiment classes, things like that. So after we wrote the first exam, let me try to explain how the exam was set up. So let's say we did 8 courses that first semester. So basically on your exam day, you have 1 day for all your exams, and then you're just supposed, you get one paper, and on that paper has all the courses you're writing. So maybe if you're doing 5 courses, we didn't write all the 8 courses, we wrote 4 courses. So on the exam paper, you have 4 different subjects. You're writing the exam at once, 2 hours, and then you have to do everything at once. So you just read for your exams and you go there, do everything 1 day, and you're out. And it was all multiple choice exam. So I had read, I had worked hard the semester, and I went to the exam and I wrote it. A week or so after, I don't remember so much, the results came out, and you guys, I got a 0 in the exam. And I was shocked, how on earth did I get a 0 in that exam? The exam was not so difficult, so why would I get a 0? And unfortunately, a lot of us failed, especially international students, particular African students, a lot of us failed. And basically, in a university, if you're studying medicine, you can actually choose to study in the country's language or in English. So nationalities of the country studied in their language, and some of their students also wanted to study English, so they will also join us studying English. But all the professors were from the country. So we had some classes where professors will come to teach, and they'll be like, they don't understand English, so they just teach in their language. And you are in the English medium class, you're teaching in your language. And it was a struggle, but there was really nothing that we could do about it. Even complaining about it, there was nothing that could be done. Although some of the professors still teach in English, but we still had some that will come and say their English is not good, so they have to use their language. So now only our classmates that are from that country now and that understood the language could actually learn in those classes. So fast forward back to the exam. What I also noticed about the school was that all our experiment classes, things that we did, all did not count for the exam. So it did not matter if you perform well in the hospital, in the labs, everything like that doesn't matter. Your class participation doesn't matter, attendance, nothing like that counts. So you just have that exam, and whatever you score in that exam is what your score is. So a couple of students actually went to complain, and they're like, why are scores so low? We wrote the exam didn't seem to be so hard. And now the school did not really give us much feedback. They were like, just take your score, accept it, and there's nothing they can do about it. We're trying to say, okay, can we see the question papers? Can you give us our papers, or at least do a remark or a recount? And they were like, no, there's nothing they can do. We should just go and study for the next exam. That was the first red flag I saw, and I was like, I do not understand. Now, there were also rumors that the school does negative marking. So it's for every one question that you, something like this, these were just things that we're hearing, because the school did not give us any definite answer. But for every one question that you fail, they fail 2 questions that you got right. Something like that. And it was a very frustrating moment. At that moment, I was already I still remember the day I was in the department. I was looking through the window after one experiment class, and I was just thinking, should I leave this school? So it was after the first semester, and I was like, should I leave this school? But then I was like, what about the school fees that I just paid? It's going to waste. Let me just continue. But I had already spoken to my parents. I explained everything to them. And even they too did not understand how that was possible. Because I would say I am good with school. I don't fail school. I read, I study hard, and I always see the result of my work when my exam results comes out. So this was very surprising to me, to everybody, and to my classmates too. Because it's not like we're lazy students. We're hardworking students. But then after that semester, fine. I had to buckle up, I had to study harder, I had to read harder, I was going to the library. And it's not like, that whole year I was playing around or having fun. That has never been my personality. I am always focused on my books and doing what brought me to school. So, I won't even say because I was not focused. So the next exam came. This time, I wrote the exam again. I had about, I don't remember, maybe altogether I had 17 courses in the first year. But the exam only consisted of some courses. Just like the same, we go to the exam, we write all the exams in one day, one paper, one sitting, multiple choice, and then you wait for your results to come out. And that was it. My results came out, and you guys, I scored a 23 out of 100. And I am like, how on earth is this happening? It just did not make sense to me. At this point, I was like, no. I just can't do this again. How? We pay so much school fees, and it felt like the school was trying to fail students. I mean, after that year, I feel like almost all the international students and all the African students actually failed. And they told us that we have to repeat the whole year. Now, they also offer the receipt exam. If you failed, you can write the exam, and then you pass. Some people stayed, they wrote the exam, but for a lot of us and some of us, we saw the signs and we knew that something was just wrong. I don't know if it was the school's way of getting extra money, making students fail so they have to pay all over again. But I spoke to my parents. Luckily, they were very understanding. And I was like, I can't do this. There's something fishy. There's something wrong about the methods of this school. And let me state, the school was still very new. The department was still new. There was no graduate from the medical faculty yet. We only had seniors till I think third or fourth year. So there were also very few people we could ask questions because nobody has graduated from the school. Also, I think there was only one African student that was in her second year and then one African student in her third year, but the one in third year transferred into the school. I remember we were speaking to her one day and she was like, she regrets it. She regrets transferring to this school. But we had little seniors to speak to ask for advice. There was no guidance, nothing like that. And it was all just a very blind decision on most of us. And the funny thing, some of us decided to stay back in school. Some people switched departments, went to other departments, and they excelled. I had classmates that switched to other departments and got into the dean's list, were excellent students, had very high performances that shocked the school. And you'll be surprised that those same people were having difficulties in the medical faculty. The medical faculty did not want to pass the students. And a couple of my classmates actually stayed, redid the exams, and still did not pass, and then they had to do first year all over again. Apparently, when you decide to repeat the year, then you'll be able to pass. And also, some of my classmates, when I was in first year, were also students that had repeated the year. But those of us that were still new were not able to pass. So, seeing all these signs, I just picked up my bags and I left. After that, I came back to Nigeria, and that was the period of the Ebola outbreak. So I was looking for another school to go to. And then I found out about China. I don't really know how, but then I reached out to people. Once bitten, twice shy. I reached out to students that were schooling in China, and I was asking questions. So how is your educational curriculum like? Is your school recognized? Are there students that have graduated from your university? Are they working in other countries? Have they had any problems with accreditation? Do you guys have experiment classes? Do they count? Do you have attendance? How do you do your exams? Everything that when I went to my first school, everything that surprised me before I went to China, I made sure I asked questions. I did my own personal research, you guys. That's why I am an advocate for research a school before you go into it. I had to do my own research because I know the mistake I made the first time and I did not want to make that mistake again. So I reached out to people. So I could not get admission during that Ebola period because China did not want to accept students coming from Nigeria during that period. Although some people still got to school, those that applied early, but I didn't get, so I had to wait. So this was 1.5 years that was gone and wasted. And I was able to get admission in March of 2015, and then that was when I was able to start schooling in China. Having to go to school, having to fail was very eye-opening for me. And although I left, but it just made me realize that I actually have to work harder no matter where I was, no matter the country I was. However I was passing high school did not matter. There was a new strategy, there was a new method to actually succeed in medical school. So that was an eye-opener for me. And a couple of lessons I learned is that there are certain things in life that you do not have to rush, certain decisions that you do not have to rush to make. I rushed to make that decision without thinking, without researching, and the time that I didn't want to waste, I ended up wasting it because I rushed to make that decision. And that's why when I speak to some parents and some of you that reach out to me and you say you want to study abroad or you want to study medicine, and I notice a lot of people want to rush. A lot of parents want to rush their kids and say, oh, we cannot wait. Oh, if you cannot get this school, okay, we are going to go to this school. And there's so much hurry. And even as much as I try to advise and I say, it's better you wait for an accredited university than to hurry and rush and go to a school that may not be recognized, and then your child may have to leave and you've paid so much school fees and things like that. Honestly, like I said, there are certain things in life that you do not rush. So just take your time and make decisions. Time is not going anywhere. Time is infinite. Time is always there. You're going to finish eventually. Look at me. This is how many years now? This is something of the past. I don't even think about it so often. And I am done. That time that I did not want to spend, I ended up spending it. And even now, I am still done. So dealing with failure was very tough for me. But eventually, I was able to get over it. I was able to move on. It did not make me feel bad. I got the opportunity to start all over again. And not everyone gets that opportunity. But luckily, I was able to get the opportunity. I was able to study hard. I was able to work harder. And I was able to excel and do even better. And now, nobody even cares about what happened in my first year or what happened during that whole period. I have colleagues that also finished from that university, and everybody is fine now. Like, it's all a thing of the past. So if you're struggling, if you're a medical student struggling with failing a course, don't be scared to take it all over again. Don't be scared to start afresh. If you've had to drop out, if you've had to leave, don't be scared to start afresh. If medicine is something that you really want to do, then just stick with it and do it. But if you realize that you actually don't want to do medicine again, then it's also very okay to leave. So that was my experience in that university. I learned a couple of lessons. I have moved on. So that is all for my story. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below if you had any similar experience, if you failed before, if you failed medical school, if you've had to drop out, things like that. But yeah, just let me know in the comment section. Let us cheer each other up and encourage each other. And that's all. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.